what we want to talk about are congruent and similar figures, okay? So first thing we want to do is we want to look at the statement that I have here. Triangle ABC is not just similar, but I'm going to put two lines underneath that. An equal sign with a similar figure over it indicates that objects are congruent. So when I say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ, okay? Well, what that's really saying is that a triangle is made up of a series of line segments. One line segment I could say is AB, okay? And that's going to be congruent to the first two letters of triangle XYZ, which is line segment XY. So when I say draw the lines, I'm not drawing a line along the side. I was just using that to show you. But what we're going to do is we're going to use congruence lines and put a single line through both of those. Okay, the next line I need to look at is it says AB. We've taken care of that. Now I want to say BC. Take care of that, and there's YZ, take care of that. So I have BC, and there's YZ, okay? See how the order that they go in actually really does matter. So now what I can do is I can say, okay, these two line segments are similar, so I need to put a double dash through there. I'm not going to put a single dash through there because that would indicate that that line segment was congruent to AB or XY. Finally, okay, we have our final line segment on a triangle. It's not that hard. We have our final line segment, which we have not put a mark through, and that's AC. If you look, it's kind of gone from the first one to the last one in our triangle statement. And then we have line segment XZ, which here's X and Z here. So I'm going to put a triple line through there, and I'll put a triple line through there. Now what we've been able to do is to indicate, since these two triangles are congruent, now we've been able to identify the sides. Now, in our next statement it says triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ. Okay, so we have XYZ, ABC. So I need to draw a triangle just like ABC, and in the order that it went, I'm going to label it X, Y, Z. Okay, see how that order really does matter when we do that, okay? We would have to flip it all around, but using the order that we're given helps us to identify. Now, if you see, my triangles aren't exactly perfect, and that's no big deal at all. Now, one cool thing about similar triangles is that their angles are congruent. That means their angles are equal. So I can say angle A is congruent to angle X. And it's kind of like looking at it going in the same order too. A and X, okay? Then I can say angle B is congruent to angle Y. So we can either look at our picture or look at the order in which our values are listed. And finally, angle C is congruent to angle Z. So those are our three congruent statements about the angles. So on similar triangles, the angles are perfectly congruent. They're the exact same size. The only difference is that the sides are different. So if I wanted to do a ratio of sides, all right, I have size AB, and I would say AB, all right, has a ratio to side X, Y. I could say BC has a ratio to YZ. All right, so I went up, I went down, I went up, I went down. Now I'm going across the bottom. Side AC has a ratio to side XZ. Okay, so there we go with that. All right, so we've gone ahead and we've looked at our angles. We've looked at our sides and how they are, how we can create a ratio of those. Now what we can do is remember, a proportion is just two ratios. Okay, so if I have triangle ABC and triangle DEF, looking at these two triangles, it indicates that angle B is the same as angle E. See the two lines there and the two lines there. Angle A is the same as angle D, and angle C is the same as angle F. That's what those lines and those corners mean. It means they're the exact same size. All right, we're not worried about the measurement of those angles. You should know from 6th grade that a triangle has a total measurement of 180 degrees, and we'll talk about that more. But all we need to know now is that A and D are similar, B and E are the same, are congruent, and B and E are congruent, and C and F are congruent. So I'm going to start with my first ratio, AB. All right, AB. And instead of doing it a dot-dot ratio like we did up above there, remember we can set up a ratio of AB over DE. And that's going to be equal to the ratio of BC over EF. So this is another way we can explain this ratio. Okay, what I want you to do based upon what we did, there's a couple other ratios that you could create here using side AC and DF and whichever side you choose. Create another proportion showing how the sides are proportional. Thank you.